Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. Happy Thursday, and we have a lot to talk about in today's video. We have some discussion about the Danger Room and how you can use that to unlock Blastaar today, if you so want. I also want to talk about Sentry. You might have seen on my thumbnail, because there is some interesting stuff that were in the files that reveal some additional details about him. And I think it's basically confirmed now that they will be on schedule for the September release, because we now have an icon and picture and image and all that for him, which indicates that he is probably going to be sooner rather than later, or probably in the same patch of the Insidious 6. There's also a new pocket dimension. Yes, I know. I think we're a little bit ahead. So this will be data mines for probably week 4. My next Monday is week 3. Sometimes the data mines get a little bit ahead of themselves, or me, in terms of when they're actually being released. And we have all that and more in today's video. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. I also do really quickly want to take I want to talk about how I'm glad that they kept the shards in the Battle World store. You can buy these for shop credits now, so that's fine. It's still there. The Ultra store also still there. You can buy them for shop credits. What is interesting, I suppose, is that the Ultimus Orb is also still here, right? You know, once characters go into the bumps, they go into the Ultimus Orbs. Now the rates are dog crap, but if you do want to really spend this to try and, gamble your odds on this, 0.4% per character on either side, like I'm really afraid of accidentally clicking this button. But I could, for 58 million shop credits, open 19,000 orbs. Now, I don't know, like, for example, if any of the new characters went into bumps, how many orbs would I have to pull to get them to 7? That I don't know. Am I going to do anything with this? Like when Fantastic Four, Hellfire Club becomes bumpable? I don't know. I haven't decided. The 3,000 shop credits, I don't know if this is a good value or not. So just kind of want to point that out, but be cautious about that. Anyways, I don't think there were any other major changes. Obviously, the Intel store is down. Now, I want to talk about the command center and what you can do today to get Blastaar unlocked now. There's a few things, right? So if you go into the Broken King month one things that you do have to do is you have to clear a difficulty 10 Danger Room run. And this has been made, I would say, a fair bit easier. I am currently done my difficulty 10 run. I'm going to have a little snippet in the middle of the video here where I'm just going to go over my recommendations using Fantastic Four anyways, how to make this a little bit easier, what mods that I would use, because a lot of people have asked me this in Discord and things like, what mods did you use to win difficulty 10? Well, I'm going to share that in 2 minutes of this video. But if you get all this stuff done, the D10 to get those quad coins, then you should be at around 180 points. Or maybe you're a little bit more, right? Maybe you have Blastaar unlocked already. But to get 200 points in order to unlock him, you need one of the newer characters. You need Azazel or Rachel Summers, who comes out today, and you need to do a raid with them to get the 20 points, and that'll bring you up to 200, and 200 is going to get you the last 50 shards that you're going to need to unlock Blastaar. If you want to use them in Cosmic Crucible starting tomorrow for the next 3 runs, then that's what you'll have to do. Now, for me, I don't care that much about Cosmic Crucible. I'm not going to be doing this. I'm not coring additionally for Azazel or Rachel Summers at this point. I don't have a lot of cores anyways. I'm down to like 4,000 after all the ones that I blew from the last leaderboard, and also for Fantastic Four. I'm still back into saving mode. I might end up coring for Sebastian Shaw because he'll be the last character, and so that might be something I might do. But as far as doing it right now, I'm not. So if you want to unlock Blastaar early, this is what you're going to have to do about that. Make sure you're still keeping up with your daily null finale stuff. This is super important. Not only is it antimatter, but like if you need to do this stuff, most of this stuff, I did a video calculating the math on this already. Make sure that you are using your Gear Tier 20 characters, right? Whether it's in raids, whether it's in Crucible, whether it's in War, you do need some of these additional points, especially the Gear Tier 20 points, to get the 7 red null. So make sure you do that. The Broken King week 2, this should be like done almost. No, it's not almost done. But once you do the Crucible stuff on Friday, then it definitely will be done. Just make sure that you're using Immortal X-Men at least twice. I guess if you want like the big time, well, it's not even that much actually, but if you want the 25,000 down here with the 2 million gold, then that's what you'll be having to do. So I want to pivot really quickly to the Danger Room, just for a couple of minutes here. And I did do my difficulty 10 run, And I didn't use a lot of mods. I did some because I ended up clearing a D9 run just to see like how easy it was. So all the basic ones I threw on the 50s, and then I threw on the speed one, and that's about it. And it's really, if you want to grind gold tokens, the easiest thing that I would recommend is go to D9 and just do the elite missions, as many elite missions as you can very early on, especially stages 1 through 10. They're not that difficult typically, and so you can do that there if you want to farm some of these gold tokens. But you don't need the arena bonuses that are active. I did this without it, so you don't actually need to grind this out. But if you are using a cursed, I heard from my Discord anyways that you kind of need the crucible bonuses that are active for a curse to work properly. But you don't need a lot of these other ones. These are basically like cheat code crutches if you really need the stuff, but it's not entirely necessary if you ask me. So now I'm going to pivot really quickly to the mods that I recommended. I kind of recorded a 2-minute blurb that I'm going to chuck in here before we get to the data mines. Okay, and I just wanted to show you guys my kind of winning mods. A lot of people ask me this, whether it's on Discord or on YouTube. What mods did you use to win? This is my difficulty 10 run, and the characters that I am going to be using for this one is these 5 here. I'm going to be actually using Dr. Doom, although he's currently dead, so I'm actually going to do a sack run. With Mordo, ignore that one. That was just a random pull. But as far as the main ones that I think make the biggest difference, it's not so much different from last time, honestly. I ended up getting Deal with the Devil. Now, this does nothing for this last node here, but this was because I accidentally picked up Mordo and it showed up. And this helped to get through a Mephisto node that I ended up running into like a couple of stages before this. But as far as the other ones, Energizing Strike. This one is super critical because Fantastic Four do not have a lot of ways to get their energy back. So this is one of the most important mods to have for a good run. I also do like, where's some of the other ones? Obviously, Power Rebalance. This is the easiest way to kind of one-shot Professor X, right, in the final node. Speeding Ticket is also helpful, but I haven't run into as many characters where I need this. You know, I've run into maybe 1 Super Scroll in like 6 runs, so honestly it's not as frequent as it used to be, as it definitely was last time around. And aside from that, a lot of it's just the generic mods, the Fantastic Four related ones. Again, I think the biggest one is Power Rebalance. That's going to make the biggest difference in your run. Also, one thing that I want to note is pick up some of these health packs, because I think it makes it significantly, it's hard to one-shot the final node. So normally what I end up doing is I try to get a 150, like, you know, enough to do a full second attack, because normally in the first one I can take the hits and then kill Charles Xavier, and then sometimes I end up dying, and then I go back in for a second time, and it's super easy to clear from there. There's another good one that I think is really helpful for the final node, which I don't have on this particular run. It's the Invisible Woman mod that stealths characters when they get taunt. Especially for the Captain Britons to get around them and to hit the other characters instead. That helps a lot as well. But again, this is just from a Fantastic Four perspective. I'm sure that you can do this with the Cursed, with similar runs. I'm just using what I have available to me. All right, now we're back into the data mines. My apologies, of course, for it looking a little bit stretched out. This is just kind of like how it is, so I can fit it all on the screen, so you don't need to see me and stuff like that. This is the icon for Sentry. Again, looking a little bit stretched out. But that is the model for Sentry that we're going to be getting in Marvel Strike Force, the avatar icon for him. There's a few other additional things that I want to share down below as well. And also there is some new icons / tabs, which appear to be for some new store related stuff. They are labeled as characters, gear, and special items. So characters here, gear, and special items. Why is it purple? Like it's actually like a weird pink fuchsia. I don't know why they're doing this, but it seems like these are icons for new tabs in the store. Is this related to Legacy and them cleaning it up? Possibly. Are all the characters just going to be chucked into one store? I really hope so, just so it makes it significantly easier to navigate. Gear into one store, and then I guess special would be like, I don't know, the elite store, right? Or rank ups, this kind of weird stuff might be in there as well. Now, there's going to be a new background for the Annihilation Raid. You might have also seen this on my thumbnail because I just chucked it on there as a background, but this is basically when you go into raids, you'll see that there. There is the Sentry Mesh, which is basically the art asset file that's used for Sentry, and nothing fancy there. But no, this is not Slenderman. So this is actually labeled the Void. And this is very interesting because some of the other text, now, I'm not completely up to date with the lore on Sentry, but I am told that he does have basically an additional form called the Void, and he's like grappling. I don't know, maybe some like the craziness within him or something like that he's grappling with. And this text here that you can see, there's a lot of indication in the game files that talk about, graphic files, art asset files, and stuff related to both Sentry and Void. Now, I'm assuming it's not two separate characters entirely, but what I think is more likely is that it's going to be an additional form, kind of like Dark Phoenix. Now, does it happen when he dies? I don't know. Maybe it just has to hit a certain amount of unique charges or whatever his new mechanics are going to be, and then he shape changes into the Void and he gets a whole new kit. So it very well is probably going to be a 2-kit kind of character that we're going to be getting. Obviously, this is in Battle World 2 that is supposed to be slated for September. Now, the fact that we have an avatar icon for him also suggests that we're going to be getting this sooner rather than later, and so I think that this is going to be after the Hellfire Club, basically with the Insidious 6, that we're going to see the release of Battle World 2 and Sentry. So I'm pretty excited about this, and I hope that they've learned their lesson from Battle World 1, and they do make this a success. Please, Scopely. I know I've shit-talked a lot, on this channel, and I know we've had our differences, but please, for making good PvE game modes, this is what I want the most. I don't like PvP that much, but I do love PvE, so please give me something to be excited for. Some other stuff that I want to talk about is updates to the Age of Annihilus Chapter 2. This is basically probably going to be in the command center. That's why it says the text is like guidebook. It's going to be like another page, most likely, or two inside of the command center. I don't think this is important, but this is kind of important. The Conqueror, actually, did we have that? No, we already have this. Blah, blah, blah. The fight continues. Entry 3, this is new. The fight continues. New raid type. Master normal and omega level in the new alliance raid, and probably more gear to 20. I got this from Bo's Gorilla. Maybe he added that in there. I don't know. That'd be weird for them to actually put in the game. Scourges, though, this is important. Take on the new Blastaar Scourge using the Conquerors. Now, we haven't had an update to the Conquerors tag on the new characters, right? This is supposed to be fantastic for MCU and the Hellfire Club and Insidious 6, I guess, later on, but it hasn't been added in there yet. And take another crack at the Quasar Scourge. We talked about this, how the Quasar Scourge is going to be Yellow Star locked. You're going to be using the old the old Harbinger characters, but most likely Vigilantes. 2 Harbinger teams that you'll have to use at a Yellow Star lock to get stars on Quasar. But they haven't really announced that. There is something called the Crown Store. Intel is out. Crowns are in. Earn crowns throughout the chapter and exchange them for rewards fit for a king. So this sounds like that we're going to be earning crowns from the Blastaar Scourge to exchange for red stars for him. Maybe not. Maybe there's other stuff in there as well, but, that's also interesting to note that they're trying something different than how they did for Quasar. I don't know if that means that there was more people who got red stars for Quasar than they wanted or less. I really don't know, but maybe we'll hear more about this on the blog tomorrow or probably next week. I don't know, because this is possibly week 4 material. This isn't necessarily stuff that we're going to get next week for week 3, okay? And now we have the information about a new Hellfire dimension. Again, keep in mind that this very well could be week 4, Broken King kind of data mines. Next week is 3. So Strike has received blah, 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 Pocket Dimension, blah, 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 Hellfire Club, right? Minimum requirements, Hellfire dimension will require non-mythic mutant characters. Now, what's interesting about this, it doesn't even actually mandate the Hellfire Club. It mandates mutant characters, but you can't use Xavier, right? So it's just mutant characters that are non-Xavier. So, that's still a lot of different options. Will there be game mode text active in this, though? That is the question, right? Are we going to be able to get, if it's designed for Hellfire Club, will raid text be active, and therefore would characters like Extreme X-Men be valid in here as well? That's something that we'll have to find out about. They'll probably have to make either through data mines that we'll find out more as they come out, or we'll hear it from an official blog post. Now, you might have seen this. So there was changes to that upgrade mutant. Remember that video I did where I said don't upgrade mutants? It's still kind of there, but they made some changes to how the milestone is going to work. So instead of the gear tier and the purple ISO stuff, well, now it's level 101 through 105. So, if you leveled up your Hellfire Club to 105 anyways, well, you're fucked about that you're still fucked. But you know, if you haven't done that yet and you only took them to 100, let's say for some reason, then you will get points for that for any mutant characters, but specifically Hellfire Club because they're still coming out in new. I think where this might be okay is like for free to play players and players like myself who are not early unlocking the Hellfire Club. When we get them free to play and this milestone goes live, you know, I can at least upgrade the new characters to 105, and I don't know how hard it is to clear this, but just to recap, that upgrade mutants event is for Azazel diamonds, and it doesn't say Azazel diamond orbs. It just says, I mean, it could be an orb, but it just almost suggests like it's flat Azazel diamonds. We'll have to see. Again, this very well could be week 4 material. Actually, this should be week 3 material, actually, because I got this data mine previously for this milestone. So we'll see. We might hear this in the blog post tomorrow. I just wanted to give people a little bit of an update about what's going on there. And I think that's it. I think that's it for today's video. So again, if you want to get Blastaar unlocked early, just keep in mind that you do need to get one of the new characters, whether it's Azazel unlocked or Rachel Summers unlocked. And you need to make sure that you finished D10 of the Danger Room today or ASAP, I guess, if you want to get Blastaar unlocked. That is going to be pretty important in general. Otherwise, the rest of us will unlock them on Monday because we get 5 points daily. The premium rewards for the new characters are worth 20, so that's like 4 days worth of dailies, so keep that in mind as well. I think this video has gone on for a little bit, so that's going to be it for now, everyone, and I'll see you guys all on the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.